Hello everyone, and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Today, thanks to BMW Specialist Cars Stevenage, I'm bringing you an in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust video of this 2020 BMW M135i. At the time of publishing, BMW Specialist Cars Stevenage have this, in addition to many other high-specification cars, and all of their contact details can be found in the description of the video. First unveiled in 2012, M135i was designed as a high-performance and more affordable answer to those crying out for a mass-production version of the highly successful but limited-run 1M. M135i underwent a facelift and gained more power in 2015, but was replaced by the M140i shortly after. This latest M135i tries to continue where its predecessor left off, as the entry-level, mass-market BMW M performance car, but now with a much smaller engine. This new M135i comes in at 4,319mm long, 5mm shorter, 1,799mm wide, 34mm wider, 1,434mm high, 13mm taller, and has an unladen weight of around 1,600 kilograms. That's around 140 kilograms heavier. Moving to performance, it takes 2 pulls of the bonnet release lever to unlatch the bonnet. This is found to the right of the driver's footwell. Then moving around to the front, the bonnet can be lifted straight up and self-supported on 2 struts, as the second pull of the interior lever totally unlatches the bonnet. Looking into the engine bay, the M135i gets extra braces over the non-M 1 Series models for enhanced stiffness. M135i is now powered by a front-mounted 2-litre, 4-cylinder twin-turbo engine that produces 306 brake horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. This is down by 16 brake horsepower on the previous facelifted version of M135i, but comes with the same torque. This output results in a 0 to 62 mph or 100 km/h time of 4.8 seconds, and a limited top speed of 155 mph, down by 1/10 of a second to 62 mph and the same top speed. Once finished in the engine bay, the bonnet can be brought down and properly fixed into place by depressing it firmly on either side. Now moving to the car's wheels, this car comes with the optional front and rear 19-inch bicolour V-spoke style M alloy wheels. Braking comes from the M Sport braking system that features enhanced ventilated front and rear discs. Stability is provided by M Sport suspension, multi-links at the rear, that have been stiffened and lowered by 10mm and can come with the optional 2-stage adaptive dampers. Whereas the previous car was rear-wheel drive, this M135i comes with the BMW xDrive 4-wheel drive system. It is predominantly front-wheel drive, but can send up to 50% to the rear wheels for 4-wheel drive, hence the slightly quicker 0 to 62 time. At the front, there's also a new Torsen limited slip differential to offer the driver a more dynamic driving experience. Now we've finished the model overview, we can start the exterior in-depth tour from front to back, with comparisons to this car's predecessor as we go. At the bottom, M135i now starts with a new gloss black front-width splitter. The 3 intakes above are larger and far more integrated into each other than before. Centrally, the main intake has been extended and squared off. Either side, the lateral intakes now have a more upright, quadrilateral form than before. Moving laterally, the front bumper has been extended with these new vents that help to control the flow of air around the car and create a more sporty aesthetic. Moving up, the kidney grills have been greatly accentuated and now come with new 3D effect grills that replace the vertical struts from before. Thanks to the optional technology pack, this car comes with more angular, adaptive LED headlights with high beam assist function and LED daytime running lights above. Moving to the bonnet, M135i now has more pronounced central lines that are farther apart than before, and arch-top lines that now curve inwards. The front windscreen behind seems to have been extended and comes with 2 wipers below. Moving back, here we find an almost featureless roof, bar the shark's fin antenna, but a panoramic sunroof can be spec'd. We can now move to M135i's lateral aspect. The side skirt appears slimmer, but only because it now starts with a gloss black strip. Moving up, the overall shape of the electrically adjustable wing mirrors has been softened, and the outside edge now comes with 3 dynamic lines, but they are still presented in 2-tone and come with integrated indicators. Continuing back, the door handles have a more rounded aesthetic, and now sit within the depressions below instead of sitting over the top of them. Moving back, and on the right side here, we come to the fuel tank flap. M135i's fuel tank has a standard capacity of 42 litres. But this can be increased to 50 litres with the touring fuel tank option. The car returns a combined MPG of 35.1. Moving back up to the roof, we come to the new M rear spoiler that really helps to extend the car and creates downforce on the rear axle, enhancing stability. The M rear spoiler comes with an integrated LED brake light strip and extends down via its gloss black struts on either side. The window below comes with the optional tinting and straighter single wiper. Under this, we come to the BMW emblem and reversing camera that comes with the tech pack. The rear light complexes either side of this are now much slimmer and sharper than before and extend under the raised M135i logo. The lateral air vents we saw at the front are complemented by these faux vents that add to the car's aesthetic. Centrally, the gloss black section is smoother than before. The reflectors have been raised to the top, and there's a new grille in the middle. Below this, we come to the car's valve-controlled exhaust system. Let's hear how it sounds, first with the valves closed and then with them open. Now we've finished the exterior tour, we can move inside. The key is similar to that in the previous model and comes with buttons for unlock, lock, to unlock the boot, and a configurable button below. Now moving inside, the handles and doors open easily with a firm pull. The interior of M135i has been noticeably upgraded, and we will focus on all of these upgrades individually as we progress through the video. The interior here is upholstered in the optional black Dakota leather, but other leather colours and Alcantara are available. Let's start the interior in-depth tour with the doors. As before, the top starts with a physical lock indicator, and moving along, we come to the first speaker from the optional Harman Kardon system. Below this, we find the newly designed angular door release that now comes with interior lock and unlock controls. Between this section and the central panel, there's a contrast strip with integrated ambient lighting that has been designed to look like stitching, part of the extended light option. Underneath this strip, the central panel is now upholstered with leather and is much more angular than before. Below it is the leather upholstered armrest and door handle that are now one piece. Integrated into the top of this are the electric window and mirror controls. Finally, the door comes with a divided open storage area. Now moving inside, the sill, unsurprisingly, is neither high nor wide, so ingress and egress was simple. Now moving along the sill, we first come to a much shorter kickplate than before, but still with M135i model designation. Continuing along and up, we come to the bonnet release, small storage and access hatch, exterior light controls and the first manually adjustable air vent. Moving left, we come to the M Sport 3-spoke steering wheel, finished here in black Napa leather. It starts with a separate leather section at the top, moulded grip positions at the 9 and 3 positions, controls for the infotainment system and cruise control to the left, BMW logo and horn centrally, and controls for volume, cools and the instrument cluster to the right, an M logo below. There is also a wheel heating option. The car can be started by depressing the metallic button in the central column that we will see later in the video. In M135i, the instrument cluster is now a 10.25-inch fully digital screen. Instead of the analog dials and small screen in the previous model, it displays info for, from left to right, fuel level, speedo, map centrally, trip and driver info, revs and engine temperature. Using the scroll wheel on the right-hand side of the wheel, we can change the options shown to the right, gear selected and drive mode, MPG, trip, real-time power and torque usage, G-meter, and media with image. The appearance of this display changes when the drive mode is changed from Eco Pro to Comfort and then Sport. Moving up, the dash and instrument hood above are quite angular areas, first with the HUD projector, then venting and a further speaker to the left. Moving to a car outside to properly visualize it, the HUD can display speed and direction information, and shift lines in Sport mode. Moving down, we come to the new 10.25-inch screen that displays BMW's new UI called Operating System 7. We start on the home screen, where the first individual option is for the FM and DAB digital radio, connected music, Spotify, Bluetooth and physical connections such as USB and aux, and then connected mobile devices. Communication comes next, and starts with the contacts list from paired devices, telephone, email, a calendar, BMW roadside and accident assistance, manage mobile devices and tasks. Navigation is below, and can be used to set the home address, search local points of interest, manually input addresses and navigate to contacts. The map itself can be manipulated using the large rotary in the central column. The extensive car menu comes next. Driving information starts with journey data such as trip info and a graph. Sport displays shows real-time boost pressure, power and torque, the G-meter and oil temperature. Driving style analysis comes after and is followed by energy flow, which shows which wheels are being driven by the xDrive system. Vehicle status displays info for tyre pressure, engine oil level, system messages and the service schedule. Settings is next and starts with general settings. Then driving mode, that allows the user to configure the car's driving mode setup for steering, engine and transmission adjustments. Then Eco Pro extended configuration to ensure maximum efficiency. The ability to adjust exterior lighting and driver assistance systems come next. After this, we can configure the car's interior lighting thanks to the exterior interior light package. A variety of colours can be chosen from, all of which can be dimmed. Climate control configuration and the screen to assign a function to the lowest button on the key come next. In Caring Car, two options can be selected: Vitalise and Relax. These combine various systems such as the radio, AC and ambient lighting to create different preset ambiances. The user can create their own driver profile and view a digital copy of the driver's handbook in the final two option screens. Apps is the final option and can be used to view things we have already seen, plus weather and country information. This collection of apps can be added to via the BMW store. Moving away from the screen and looking around, we can get a better view of the ambient lighting in the front. Moving down, we come to the car's redesigned air vents that are now much slimmer and made from metal. Between the vents, we find buttons for the hazard lights and active guard that can be used to display driver assistance and security info. The position of the AC and CD controls has been inverted here, so we come to the AC controls first. The button array starts with passenger heated seat, front then rear demist, auto AC, passenger zone temperature control, air direction, fan speed, AC off, driver zone temperature control, recirculation, AC menu, max AC and then the driver's heated seat. The media array below has all the usual controls such as mode, volume rotary, track buttons and to skip tracks. Moving down, the ambient lighting extends below and illuminates the wireless charging port. Behind this there's a single USB input, two open cup holders and the 12-volt input and lighter. Continuing back, we come to the main control array. Thanks to the deletion of the manual handbrake, this area is now much more integrated and comprehensive than before. The direct access buttons for the infotainment system are to the left: media, home, map, communication, apps and navigation. The multifunctional and touch-sensitive rotary behind is the main control for the infotainment system. To the right of this is the shifter for the car's 8-speed Steptronic automatic gearbox. To its side is the lock button and park hold to its rear. Sequential shifting can be done here, or by using the paddles behind the wheel. Finally, there's another button array for, from top to bottom: traction control off, parking sensors, engine start or stop, driving modes, sport, comfort and eco pro, auto hold and the parking brake. Moving back, the top of the central storage area is now upholstered in soft leather and can be opened by depressing a small catch at the front. Looking inside, we find quite a large amount of storage and further USB inputs. On either side of the central column are the seats that have been totally redesigned. The headrest is now integrated into the body and there is M branding along the outside shoulder. These seats are upholstered in black Dakota leather and all movement controls, both manual and auto, can be found to the front, side and rear. Now we finish in the front, we can move to the rear. The rear doors, with their optionally tinted windows, open in the same way as the front doors. Now sitting inside, let's take a POV look around the interior. We start at the top of the new seats and move down to find a small storage wallet. To the left is rear ventilation and device connectivity. Moving back, there's no central occasional seat in the middle of the bench, but there is adjustable lighting above. Let's take a look at some of these features in more detail. The rear of the central column projects into the rear with two manually adjustable air vents and two USB inputs below. As in the front, the rear bench seating is also upholstered in leather. As previously noted, there's no central occasional seat, but the main seats on either side are now more defined as individual seats than before. Above these we find two speakers from the optional Harman Kardon system. In front of these is the LED rear lighting with controls to individually control each side. Now we've finished in the rear, we can focus on the car's remaining storage space. Back in the front, the glove compartment can be opened easily using the latch on the front. Once opened, it reveals a very large and illuminated storage area. Moving outside, the boot lid can be opened using the key and then manually lifted up. A power tailgate option that automatically opens and closes the boot lid is also available. Looking at the underside of the boot lid, we find where controls for the optional power tailgate would be and the warning triangle. M135i's boot offers 20 extra litres on its predecessor at 380 litres with the seats up. This is extended to 1200 litres with the rear seats laid flat. Taking a closer look, there's a small access hatch to the left with strap and hook attachments to secure items. This is mirrored on the right, where we also find an indented and netted area. The boot floor can be lifted up to reveal further storage and currently where the medkit, car care kit and driver's handbook are being kept. As this car doesn't come with the optional power tailgate, the boot lid needs to be manually closed once finished with. We can now move back inside briefly to focus on the car's final few features. On either side, there are large sun visors with illuminated vanity mirrors. Moving centrally, we find controls for the front reading lights, and below this, the rearview mirror. So that concludes my in-depth exterior and interior tour of this 2019 BMW M135i that is for sale with BMW specialist cars Stevenage at the time of publishing. All of their contact details can be found in the description of the video. Please subscribe for the latest content, and until next time, thanks for watching.